Hello everyone, Paul Rogers here. Today is November 30th, 2017. I'm going to be starting a new series focused on how to build a crypto portfolio and how to manage it. And we're going to be looking at, of course, allocation, meaning besides just which cryptocurrencies have the highest probability of having value in the future and dominating the market, how to allocate those funds, how much should be put into each project. Now, if you remember back when the internet started, there was a lot of different companies that don't really exist right now, like Netscape. Look at AOL. Yahoo is struggling greatly right now. There's companies like Home Grocer that don't even really exist anymore, and they were really big projects. Cryptocurrencies are going through the same thing. Right now, the whole space is expanding. Everyone's throwing money at that space, but we don't really know in 5 years from now who are going to be the winners and losers. So my objective today is to try to share with you which projects I feel have the best chance of success moving forward, and basically to try to build a robust crypto portfolio that's going to be future-proof. And that's just saying that is a bold comment, saying that you could have a cryptocurrency portfolio that is future-proof. And this space is moving so quickly. 5 years is like an extreme amount of time into the future. If we're talking, I mean, 1 month in the crypto sphere is like 2 or 3 years in equities. So, I mean, we're really projecting out far, even though it's 5 years to someone who trades equities for a living is nothing. But in the crypto world, it's a big deal, 5 years, because the space is so liquid and it's evolving so quickly. So, first off, let's take a look at where things are. This is coinmarketcap.com, and here are my 6 picks. Now, the first one is Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin should be part of everyone's crypto portfolio, hands down. I'll get into what these different options are, but Bitcoin is the founder. It's the one who introduced blockchain technology to the world, and the reason why all this exists is because of Bitcoin. So every portfolio should have Bitcoin in it. Now, I know people will go and say Bitcoin, maybe it's older tech, it is Gen 1 of cryptocurrencies, but it has the highest amount of adoption. There's tons of people working on Bitcoin. Bitcoin has the name. Bitcoin is the entry level, meaning that it's basically the gateway cryptocurrency, meaning if you want to buy something else, you need to buy Bitcoin first. And then you can go and buy something else and convert that into some other cryptocurrency. So Bitcoin is the king. And no matter what you read, Bitcoin should be the highest percentage allocation of your portfolio because it has the highest probability of having success 5 years into the future. Ethereum is number 2 on my list. And it's number 2 as far as allocation because Ethereum is the most widely adopted smart contract platform that exists. And it's headed by a really strong team, and it has a high probability of having success in the future. So I know that there's people that claim there's Ethereum killers out there, and it's possible. It's possible that in 5 years Ethereum won't be the #1 smart contract platform. But as of right now, if someone's doing a token offering, everyone goes to Ethereum. That's the place to go. Everyone's building on Ethereum. Ethereum is the man for smart contracts. And it's going to be evolving. In 5 years, Ethereum is going to have a lot of different pieces in place. So I feel that Ethereum should be a large percentage of your portfolio as well. Now, Ripple is something that is kind of a hedge just in case the banks more or less try to take over cryptocurrency. And when I say take it over, I mean take the blockchain technology aspect of it, to facilitate transfers, and that's what Ripple's looking to do, to create transfers from bank to bank that will be fast and efficient. And I know a lot of people are down on Ripple because it's more or less dealing with the devil, which is the current banking system. But the current banking system needs a lot of help. I mean, if you've ever done a Swift wire transfer, you know it's horrible. So Ripple is there to help the banking system, and it has a high probability of going in and disrupting Swift and being the method of choice for banks for doing wire transfers. And that doesn't mean that Ripple is going to win this competition. It's entirely possible that Swift will come up with their own system, or the banks will come up with an alternative system to Ripple. But as of right now, Ripple's in the running, and it's entirely possible. So you should have some exposure in your portfolio, and you should own some Ripple. Moving to Dash. Dash Digital Cash. Dash is basically going to be the PayPal of digital currencies, and they have been hard at work at implementing a Dash Evolution. Dash Evolution is going to make it super easy for people to use cryptocurrencies without even knowing they're working with cryptocurrencies. And it's basically going to be an alternative, an easier alternative to Bitcoin. So you're going to have instant transactions. You're going to have transactions that can be more or less like, there's a mixer that's built into the Dash platform, I should say. So there's some, I think it's called Private Send, what they use. And Dash is going to have so many features coming out that people can have like savings accounts and do automatic payments. And Dash really is something that I feel is, in its little market segment, has something to offer. It's the first system that ever used masternodes, and I really think Dash is a winner. And it's headed by Ryan Taylor, who's a person that I think is going to help propel Dash forward. IOTA is interesting because IOTA uses a different technology that's related to blockchain but different, called the Tangle. And IOTA stands for Internet of Things. Now, IOTA could end up being a flop. It's totally possible. It could end up not working out. If it does work out and IOTA is able to connect pretty much everything together in this tangle, IOTA could be huge. It could be bigger than Bitcoin. So you want to have some exposure to IOTA. I'm not going to get into depth on the technical aspects of IOTA, but I will say it's unique in the space, and I think it has potential to disrupt. So I think that you should have some exposure to IOTA. Now, my last on the list, and not least, by the way, is EOS. EOS is headed by someone named Dan Larimer, and Dan previously created BitShares and Steemit. So Dan is a pro through and through. He's created two amazing projects that have gained a lot of acceptance and traction, and EOS is basically going to be like Ethereum, only much faster. Now, there's going to be some downsides to the EOS system. It's going to be a little bit more centralized than Ethereum because it's using what's called delegated proof of stake. And that helps facilitate the EOS system to make it very fast. Now, there's a chance that EOS will take a big market share from Ethereum and could even pass Ethereum as the platform to build on for smart contracts. So as of right now, though, EOS is at $1.3 billion, where Ethereum's at $39.2 billion in market cap. So, but it does have a lot of potential to grow, and you should have definitely some exposure to EOS in your portfolio. Now, these six I think have the highest probability of having success 5 years going forward, and especially the way they're mixed together. If you go and you say, oh, I just love the concept of Ripple, I love Dash, I love EOS or whatever, don't fall in love. We do not know what is going to be around in 5 years for sure. We do know that Bitcoin has the highest probability, and after that, it's just looking at what has the highest probability of being around in 5 years. This pick of six, I think, is very, very solid, and will this is basically what I use for my personal portfolio, are these six cryptocurrencies. Now, how to allocate? Good question. Now, option one, I think, is probably the more conservative option because it's allocating 50% to Bitcoin and 50% to altcoins. I would recommend if my father or mother or brother came to me and said, hey, how should I allocate? I would recommend option one, hands down, for sure. If you're looking for disruptive technologies inside the cryptocurrency field, meaning that you think that, let's say, EOS or IOTA could go times, could grow multiples, over Bitcoin, meaning that some of the alts will go and take a lot of market cap away from Bitcoin, then option two is a possibility. So it's really up to you which allocation you prefer. I personally think option one is the more sound. Option two is for someone who goes and maybe wants to gamble a little bit. What's the chances of Bitcoin going times 100 in price? So going from 10,000 to 1 million. It's possible, but that's kind of like a best case scenario for Bitcoin, really, to go to $1 million. What's the possibility of something like EOS going times 100? Let's say it becomes the smart contract of the future and it gains a lot of adoption. Could EOS be worth, could its market cap basically be what Bitcoin's is today? Yes. Does it have a higher probability of reaching that than Bitcoin going to $1 million times 100? Arguably, yes. So option two is a more aggressive portfolio because it's looking at higher possibilities of growth. There could be explosive growth with EOS, with IOTA, with Dash, with Ripple, with Ethereum. All of these have a higher potential to have massive growth, but they also have a higher potential to really be insignificant or not really exist to the same degree they do now in 5 years or 10 years from now. So option two, I'd say, is definitely riskier. Let me see. In conclusion, I know there are many other competing technologies out there, and I know that you guys are going to go and make comments and say, hey, what about this? What about that? There's tons of other good projects out there. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, if I had to go and pick 6 technologies and how to allocate them and walk away and come back in 5 years, I feel that these 6 technologies would have the highest probability of having a couple winners in them. Now, of these 6, it's probably, it's possible for each one of them to have a lot of success. It is possible because they each cover a little bit different market segment in a way. So it is possible that all 6 will be successful, but most likely only half of the cryptocurrencies on this list will have a lot of mainstream adoption and gain success. So you're really just playing the odds, and these 6, in my opinion, are the best. Anyhow, if you like what I'm saying, please hit the like button. Please subscribe to my channel. I do appreciate it. And this is something new. I actually am putting my Bitcoin donation address in the description. I haven't done that in the past, but I do feel what I'm doing does have value. And if you value what I'm doing, you can send me a little tip with Bitcoin, and I would appreciate it. Anyhow, Paul Rogers out. I will be making follow-up videos to this in the near future.